Listen carefully. This audiobook is not for everyone. If you like telling people your plans, if you need approval, if you quit when things get uncomfortable, click off now. But if you're built different, if you're tired of talking and ready to win in silence, stay right here. Because in America, the loud ones get attention, but the focused ones get results. This is never tell people what you do. Focus in silence. Win in public. Let's begin. Never tell people what you do. Not because you're scared, not because you're weak, but because real power moves in silence. In America, the loudest people usually have the least results. They talk big. They post everything. They announce plans before they even start. And then, they disappear. Winners don't do that. Winners don't need validation. They don't need applause while they're building. They don't need likes, comments, or opinions. They need focus. See, the moment you tell people what you're about to do, something dangerous happens. You invite noise. You invite doubt. You invite energy that doesn't belong to your mission. And most people don't want to see you win. Not really. They'll smile. They'll say, "That's cool." But deep down, they're waiting to see if you fail. That's why in the US, the smartest grinders stay low-key. They lock in. They grind after hours. They work when nobody's watching. No announcements. No explanations. Just work. Focus in silence. Win in public. That's the code. Look at the most successful people in America. Before the fame, before the money, before the recognition, they were invisible. Nobody believed in them. Nobody clapped for them. Nobody checked on them. And that was their advantage. Because silence gives you clarity. Silence gives you speed. Silence gives you control. When nobody knows your moves, nobody can block your path. Most people lose focus because they talk too much. They tell friends. They tell family. They tell social media. And every opinion chips away at their belief. One person says, "That's risky." Another says, "Be realistic." Another says, "People like us don't do that." And suddenly, the fire is gone. That's why this audiobook exists. For the people in the USA who are tired of noise. Tired of fake motivation. Tired of explaining their dreams to people who don't get it. If that's you, listen closely. You don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't need permission to level up. You don't need approval to chase more. Your job is simple. Wake up. Lock in. Execute. Repeat. No talking. No flexing. No distractions. In America, success respects discipline. Not excuses. Not talent alone. Discipline. You don't need to be loud. You need to be consistent. Every day you show up quietly, you're stacking power. Every night you work while others scroll, you're getting closer. Every time you choose focus over comfort, you're winning. And one day, without warning, without explanation, you show results. That's when people ask, "How did you do it?" And you smile. Because they didn't see the late nights. They didn't see the sacrifices. They didn't see the self-doubt. They only see the win. That's how it should be. Win in public. But build in silence. Never tell people what you do. Show them. Stay locked in. Stay hungry. Stay dangerous. This is the American grind mindset. And if you're listening to this in the USA right now, you're already ahead. Never tell people what you do. Because the moment you speak, you leak power. Most people don't realize this, but in America, attention is expensive. Every time you explain your plans, you spend energy you should be using to execute. And energy is everything. While others are talking about what they will do, you should already be doing it. While they're posting quotes, you're building skills. While they're chasing approval, you're chasing progress. That's the separation. See, focus isn't about motivation. Motivation fades. Focus stays. Real focus means saying no to parties. No to distractions. No to people who don't understand your vision. And yeah, that makes you lonely. But loneliness is temporary. Regret lasts forever. In the US, everyone wants success, but very few want the lifestyle that creates it. They want freedom, but not discipline. Money, but not patience. Respect, but not consistency. That's why most people quit. They quit when it gets boring. They quit when nobody's watching. They quit when progress is slow and silent. But that silent phase? That's where legends are built. Nobody claps when you're studying at midnight. Nobody cheers when you're working weekends. Nobody cares when you say no to comfort. And that's good, because if they can't see you struggle, they don't get to see you win. Silence sharpens you. It forces you to rely on yourself. It teaches you discipline instead of dependence. And discipline is the real flex in America. You don't need to prove anything right now. You don't need to show progress early. You don't need to explain why you're tired, why you're busy, why you're unavailable. Let them think you're doing nothing. Let them underestimate you. Because underestimation is fuel. While they doubt, you develop. While they laugh, you learn. While they relax, you refine your craft. That's how you build quiet confidence. Not the loud kind. Not the fake kind. The kind that doesn't shake when things go wrong. The kind that walks into a room and doesn't need to speak to be felt. That's real power. In America, the most dangerous people aren't the loud ones. They're the calm ones. The ones who don't explain. The ones who don't rush. The ones who don't react emotionally. They move slow. They think deep. They execute clean. And when they finally show results, it feels sudden to everyone else. Overnight success, they call it. But you know the truth. It was years of silence. Years of focus. Years of choosing the hard path when no one was looking. So if you're in that phase right now, the quiet phase, the invisible phase, stay there. Don't rush the reveal. Don't seek validation. Don't break your silence for attention. Your time is coming, and when it does, you won't need to say a word, because results talk louder than any explanation ever could. Stay focused. Stay silent. Stay unstoppable. Never tell people what you do, because most people don't want to see you win, they want to see you try. Trying makes them comfortable. Winning makes them uncomfortable. That's why silence protects your progress. When you stop talking, you start noticing things. Who distracts you? What drains you? Where your time actually goes. And in America, time is the real currency. You can make more money. You can rebuild relationships. But you never get time back. That's why focused people are dangerous. They don't scroll all day. They don't argue online. They don't explain themselves to people who aren't building anything. They move with intention. See, the grind isn't glamorous. It's repetitive. It's boring. It's lonely. And that's exactly why it works. Most people in the US quit when it stops being exciting. They need hype. They need applause. They need constant validation. But discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline shows up when motivation disappears. You wake up tired, you still work. You feel unsure, you still move forward. You doubt yourself, you still stay consistent. That's how confidence is built. Not from speeches. Not from affirmations. From proof. Every small win stacks. Every focused hour compounds. Every day you don't quit increases your edge. And slowly, something changes. You start trusting yourself. You stop chasing opinions. You stop needing permission. That's when you outgrow your old environment. Same city. Same people. Different mindset. You're no longer impressed by talkers. You're impressed by execution. Because in the real world, nobody gets paid for potential. They get paid for results. And results come from focus. Quiet focus. No announcements. No previews. No big plans, conversations. Just work. Let them think you're behind. Let them think you're lost. Let them think you're average. Meanwhile, you're building leverage. Skills. Knowledge. Self-control. Things nobody can take from you. And when the moment finally arrives, you don't rush. You don't panic. You don't explain. You step forward calmly because you're prepared. That's the difference between loud confidence and real confidence. Loud confidence talks. Real confidence acts. In America, respect follows results. Not effort. Not intentions. Results. So stay in your lane. Protect your energy. Focus on your craft. And remember this. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your silence. You owe yourself discipline. Because when you win in public, no one asks why you were quiet. They ask how you did it. And you'll smile. Because you know the answer. You focused in silence. And you earned every bit of it. Never tell people what you do. Because the moment you announce your move, you invite opinions. And opinions slow you down. Focused people don't crowdsource their destiny. They decide, and then they execute. In America, the winners aren't always the smartest. They're the most controlled. Control over emotions. Control over habits. Control over reactions. That's why silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. When you're quiet, you don't waste energy defending yourself. You don't argue. You don't prove. You don't explain. You save all that energy for progress. And progress compounds fast when nobody's pulling you in different directions. Most people are busy reacting. Reacting to news. Reacting to drama. Reacting to other people's success. But leaders don't react, they respond. They slow things down. They think long-term. They move like chess players in a world full of checkers. That's how power is built. Not overnight. Not loudly. But deliberately. You start noticing the shift when distractions stop controlling you. When your phone stops owning your attention. When comfort stops being your priority. That's when you enter a different league. In the US, this is the phase most people never reach, because it's uncomfortable. It requires saying no to instant pleasure for long-term dominance. No shortcuts. Just consistency. You wake up when others hit snooze. You work when others complain. You stay disciplined when others make excuses. And slowly, your standards rise. You stop tolerating laziness, in yourself and in others. You stop wasting time with people who talk more than they act. You start protecting your space like it's sacred. Because it is. Your focus is your future. And the future doesn't belong to the loudest person in the room. It belongs to the most prepared. So if right now it feels heavy, if it feels lonely, if it feels like nobody understands what you're building, that means you're early. That means you're ahead of the curve. That means you're becoming dangerous. Stay silent. Stay disciplined. Stay locked in. Because one day, sooner than you think, your results will introduce you. And when they do, no explanation will be necessary. Never tell people what you do. Because the real ones don't talk, they move. By now, you understand something most people never will. Silence isn't emptiness. Silence is preparation. Every hour you stayed focused when nobody noticed. Every night you chose discipline over comfort. Every time you walked alone instead of following the crowd. It counted. In America, the world rewards outcomes, not explanations. Nobody asks how hard it was once you win. They only see the results. That's why you never needed applause on the way up. You were building something deeper than motivation. You were building identity. The kind of person who doesn't fold under pressure. The kind who stays consistent without supervision. The kind who doesn't need to be seen to feel valuable. That's leadership. Not titles. Not followers. Not noise. Leadership is self-control. You led yourself when distractions were everywhere. You led yourself when quitting felt easier. You led yourself when no one believed in the vision but you. And that's why you're different now. You don't rush. You don't chase. You don't react emotionally. You move with purpose. Because you know something others don't. Success isn't loud. Success is precise. It shows up quietly, then stays permanently. So let them keep talking. Let them keep posting plans. Let them keep explaining dreams they'll never execute. You're past that phase. You're focused. You're disciplined. You're locked in. And when the world finally notices, when the results are undeniable, You won't say, "I told you so." You'll say nothing, because the strongest statement you can ever make is a life that speaks for itself. Stay silent. Stay focused. And when you win, win in public. If this audiobook hit you, that's not an accident. That means you're in the phase where silence matters, where focus matters, where discipline separates you from the average. Don't talk about it. Don't explain it. Just apply it. If you're serious about leveling up in the US mindset, about focus, leadership, money, and self-control, subscribe and stay locked in. More audiobooks are coming for people who move different. Till then, stay silent, stay focused, and when you win, win in public.